Welcome to Nonprofit Stories, inspiring tales from Silicon Valley. We will explore the transformative work of nonprofit organizations and leaders who are changing our community by tackling some of the most pressing issues facing Silicon Valley. So without further ado, let's dive into this exciting conversation. Today, we welcome Crystalline Sanders, author and founder of Kids Again Foundation of Silicon Valley. Her mission is to prevent child sexual abuse and empower children through education and the cultivation of positive self-esteem. America's child sexual abuse problem. About 400,000 babies born every year, 10% of all babies born, will become victims of sexual abuse before they turn 18. 1 in 5 girls and 1 in 6 boys is a victim of child sexual abuse. During a 1-year period in the U.S., 16% of youth ages 14 to 17 had been sexually victimized. The financial cost of child abuse and neglect in the United States is estimated at $585 billion.
Crystalline, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Please tell us about the history of your organization and how did it all begin?
Thank you. Kids Again Foundation was founded in 2021. After the trauma that my family experienced, I started the Kids Again Foundation, whose mission is to help children who are victims of sexual abuse become kids again. So I reached out to a local organization to find out about sponsorship. And then we submitted our application for our 501c3. That was approved. And now we are in our fundraising and grant database era. So we are trying to fundraise and raise awareness for the organization and increase our mission. And so we started as a one-person team, just myself.
Sure.
And now we are a 4-person team, four people strong.
So what all programs do you offer as part of your organization?
Mm-hmm. So one is our sponsorship program, which sponsors children's participation in extracurricular activities. That could be art classes, that could be soccer leagues or community leagues. And then the second program is we gift comfort items, which is the comfort program. We donate and give comfort items to children during their interview process for trauma treatment.
Sure. And the children who come to you, what are their approximate ages?
It's a variety of ages, but it's between the ages of 2 all the way to 17, 18.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your personal passion behind serving the organization?
My personal mission is to make sure that no child has to go through the trauma and the horror, and family has to go through the trauma and horror that my family has had to experience through sexual abuse. I wake up in the morning to help children heal from sexual abuse and to prevent child sexual abuse, and to know that child sexual abuse is 100% preventable, and it's through education and community resources. And so I wake up in the morning to, number one, prevent child sexual abuse, to prevent children from going through the horror that my family has had to experience. But then number 2, to help children heal.
So how widespread is this sexual abuse problem?
Child sexual abuse is extremely widespread. Nearly 500,000 children born every year will be sexually abused before the age of 18. 1 in 4 girls will be sexually abused, and 1 in 6 boys are sexually abused before the age of 18.
So all these statistics, they are reported, or these are some unreported statistics also?
These are reported. However, child sexual abuse is largely unreported, and statistics are coming out every year that are updating these numbers.
Can you share a transformational experience you have had involving your organization?
Yeah. So one of the things that I do as an author is I go into schools and I talk to them about body safety, consent, and autonomy. And most recently, a principal sent me an email and let me know that the after effect or the impact of that my visit had on their students. Mm-hmm. One of the teachers was able to accurately report an instance of child sexual abuse that resulted in a child being saved and removed from their home. So it made me really extremely proud that I was able to make an impact in that community and in that school and in that child's life to help that teacher be able to have the tools necessary to identify a child who's being abused, and for that child to be able to speak up and say something and say, yes, this is what's going on. So as an author and as a founder of Kids Again, it is my mission to help empower children and people to know the facts, to speak up about sexual abuse, to see the signs. And so to have a teacher report and a child to be saved is just the biggest impact that my life and my foundation could ever experience. And I don't know if I said that correctly, but it just meant so much to me as a person and as a human. And it was very profound to save one life, to save one child from abuse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how does your books help you with your mission?
Yeah. My children's books they help because it puts everything into words and to visual form. With these bright, bold books and colors, I can reach a child, reach a teacher, provide resources and information for families. So my books serve two purposes. One is to help children prevent abuse by understanding some of the signs, some of the symptoms, and to provide them information about what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. So they're very colorful, bright. They provide body safety rules, 10 rules to keep you safe in school, things that you should know and things that you should do if you're ever in a situation that makes you uncomfortable. But one of the really unique things about my books is that in the back of the books, I've done an extreme amount of research, and I provide references and resources for parents and caretakers, statistics, information, questions to ask the child to make sure that they understand. Because, like I said, child sexual abuse is 100% preventable, and it's all about information, education, not just for the child, but for the adult and the caretaker. So this has all the information that parents need to have age-appropriate conversations with their children to make sure that they understand and how to protect themselves. But it's also provides information for parents to make sure that they're providing safe environments for their children.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So what challenges do you face?
There are a lot of challenges. Unfortunately, parents, caretakers, and people just do not want to believe that child sexual abuse is as widespread as it is, or that there is an issue at all. Unfortunately, this conversation can be very taboo and very scary for a lot of people. So one of the big challenges is getting people to want to have these conversations with their children. And then number two, to understand that this is a widespread problem affecting 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys. And so having early and often conversations can help prevent child sexual abuse. However, if you're not really willing to recognize that this problem exists or that it's as widespread as it is, or if you're fearful of having this conversation, you don't want to recognize it or you don't acknowledge it. So that is one of the big problems that I'm facing, and that a lot of advocates are facing with this, is people not wanting to have these open conversations about abuse and prevention of abuse because it's taboo and or because it's extremely scary.
Are there any telltale signs which parents can see in their kids and immediately spot that their kids are getting abused sexually?
That is a really good question. Often it's the culmination of many signs that could be telltale that a child is being sexually abused. Some of these signs alone can just be normal adolescent or childhood changes, such as maturity or adolescent growth or anything like that. So one of the signs could be changes in behavior, changes in hygiene, being reclusive or not wanting to leave their room, keeping a lot of secrets, being withdrawn, depression. So a lot of these in culmination can be a sign that a child is being sexually abused. But you'll just really have to have open and honest conversations with your child to see what's going on and really make sure that you're observing and, taking in all the signs. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So it just isn't one sign. Yeah, it just isn't one indication. Often children will give many indications that they're being sexually abused.
Sure. Can you share an example of how networking and collaboration they have helped you?
Yes. One of the organizations that I work extremely close with, and I'm on the board of, is called Room Redux. Room Redux transforms the rooms of children who have been abused, so they'll go in and provide them a whole new environment. Children who have been abused are often done so at home or in that space. So Room Redux will give them a whole new room makeover so that they can feel safe in their space. I work in tandem with them to provide books, resources, and healing services for children who have been abused. Networking and collaboration are extremely beneficial in the nonprofit sector. I collaborate with other nonprofits by providing resources, education, books. So I donate a lot of books to nonprofit organizations who reach out to me and say that there is a need. We work together in tandem to make sure that we're providing books, resources, and information to the demographic that they're serving. I work with schools by going into their schools and talking about body autonomy and consent and hosting a body safety workshop for their students at the start of school or maybe towards the end of school, or if there are instances that occur within the schools that say that there is an influx of children who are reporting abuse or sexual abuse or just touching in general, or there's an influx or there's an instance that happened and has impacted the school. I'll go and I'll work with the teachers and the principals to figure out ways in which we can either talk to the children and educate them about body autonomy and consent and what that means and how we use it every day. And I'll work with the teachers to identify and report instances of child sexual abuse or abuse and how to work with the children to make sure that we're all being safe and we're playing safe and have a safe environments both at school and at home. And I'll work with community-based organizations by providing either translated information. So I'll translate my books into Spanish, they're translated into Mandarin, and I'll work with community-based organizations to provide the necessary resources for their organization or their community or the demographic that they serve.
What is your vision of the organization for next 3 to 5 years?
The next 3 to 5 years, I hope to continue to raise awareness about the organization, to continue to provide resources to community-based organizations, continue to build partnerships and work with other nonprofits. I hope to take our small community, Sonoma County community, we're in Sonoma County, but I hope to take our small community-based organization and make it nationwide, work with more communities. But I'm working right now with a nonprofit in North Carolina. And so I hope to take our organization nationwide and maybe even worldwide. I've heard about some needs in other communities around the world. And so I'm looking into maybe translating my books into different languages, more other than just Spanish and Mandarin, and what that would look like to serve other demographics in other countries.
How many books have you written so far?
I have close to 22 books.
Which one is your favorite book?
My absolute favorite book is Where Hands Go, Body Safety Rules, because this is the second book in the Where Hands Go series, and it's extremely in-depth, or more in-depth than the first book. It provides 10 examples of rules that you should keep in your heart as it pertains to body safety, body autonomy, consent, no kissing and touching private parts, no keeping secrets that could be harmful or hurtful, talking to a trusted adult and what that trusted person looks like. So I'm really proud of this second book. The first book was written out of a passion and a mission. The second book really took a lot out of me and took a lot of time and dedication, and I really worked hard on this second book. And so I'm most proud of this second book here.
Worried about the dilemma of selling first or buying first? TradeMyHome.com, powered by Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, has the solution. With our guaranteed 24-hour cash offers, you won't risk owning 2 homes or being homeless. You can buy first and sell later. Are you upgrading or downgrading in the next 3 to 6 months? Text PAIR to 408-740-7400 for a free and no-obligation professional equity appraisal report. Exclusively for Nonprofit Stories podcast viewers. For more information, visit trademyhome.com or call 408-740-7400. Remember, at trademyhome.com, your home is sold guaranteed or we'll buy it.
So who is a trusted adult?
A trusted adult can be almost anybody in the child's life. It could be a family friend. It could be a teacher. It could be a therapist. It could be a parent. It doesn't have to be. It could also be a grandparent, uncle, someone that person, that child can tell anything to, have open and honest conversations with, and know that the information that they give or share with that person will be used to the benefit of that child.
Did you always knew you are going to be an author?
Absolutely not. I did not know I was going to be an author. And it came out of me. It came from a place of experiencing trauma and family trauma as it pertains to child sexual abuse. So I knew that there was a lack of resources, there was a lack of information, and I knew that there needs to be more. So what I did was, in my research phase and period, I gathered all of this information and I wanted to share it with families and with children. So I did not know I wanted to be an author. I just knew that I needed to get this information out there and to share it.
So where can kids and parents find your books?
Yes, parents and children can find my books. They're available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, as well as my own personal website, ksdiggs.com. There you can purchase a body safety bundle, which comes with bookmarks, stickers, and 3 or 4 of the books that pertain to body safety, body autonomy.
What is unique about your books?
So my books serve to educate not just the child, but the parents as well, provide information for both children and parents. But another thing that is really unique about my books, I don't know if you'll see here, my books have a child of color as the primary character to make sure that children of color can see themselves as the primary character in children's books. So all of my books feature diversity, but also children of color as the main character in the children's books. So I feature a lot of diversity. I try to feature every single race, every single gender, ethnicity, sexuality. All of that is reflected in my books. But I want to make sure that children of color can see themselves as the main character in children's books, not shaded off to the side, not a secondary character, not the sidekick, as the primary character. So one of the things that sets my books apart, especially in the body safety space and realm, is that there is a child of color as the primary character in the book.
What are some key strategies that have played a crucial role in the success of your organization?
One of the big strategies is just networking. Email marketing, email collaborations, putting emails into nonprofits who you hope to collaborate and network with, and just saying, hey, I'm a nonprofit, or hey, I'm here. Let me know how I can help serve you. So making the organization and myself open and available to anything that this organization might need. As an author and as the founder of Kids Again Foundation, how can we help serve that organization? Can we collaborate on? Do you have a presentation that needs to be given? What resources do you need that I can open myself up and help to serve your mission, and we can work in tandem? So just putting emails out there has just been a major key strategy in helping to grow my nonprofit as well as our mission. A second strategy that has been extremely important in the success of our organization, just raising awareness in general, is getting out there in the community. I attend a lot of community events, festivals, readathons, runathons. I attend a lot of community events, a lot of conferences. I'm out there in the community a lot, passing out business cards, information and facts, and just being a resource for my community and a hub for my community by raising awareness and being out there. How can I be of service to this community to help provide information? And, how can I serve the community? So just being a community servant has also been really helpful.
What one advice will you give to the families you serve?
Yeah, if a child reports that they are being abused and harmed, believe them. Studies show that less than 2 to 5% of children ever lie or make false reports about sexual abuse or being harmed, so believe them. Start with believing them. The next thing a parent or a caretaker or a teacher can do is to report abuse. There are forensic interviewers, there are hotlines, services that can help provide them with support and then the necessary information. So the first thing to do is to believe the child. The second thing to do is to report. And the third thing to do is to know that there's healing and services available to help support the child's healing.
Thank you, Crystalline, for speaking with us today. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Kids Again Foundation Impact. 2,000 hours have been spent assisting children in need by the Kids Again Foundation. 120 kids are currently enrolled in their programs and getting to experience a wholesome childhood experience. 20 years of experience combined assisting children traumatized by sexual abuse.
It's time for our trivia question to win prizes. This section is hosted by our AI host, Kay.
Hi, this is Kay from TradeMyHome.com, powered by Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Your home sold guaranteed, or we'll buy it. Here is our NPS trivia question. Which charities Got Milk campaign, started in 1993, became one of the most popular and well-known advertising campaigns to encourage drinking milk? And your options are American Red Cross, Make-A-Wish Foundation, or California Milk Processor Board. Winners will get a $25 Amazon gift card and recognition in our next episode. Submit your entry on our website, trademyhome.com/NPS, or by scanning the QR code on the screen. Only the top 3 correct entries will win.
Thank you for listening to the podcast and acknowledging the impactful work of nonprofits in Silicon Valley. Please subscribe and share this episode with a friend. Thank you to our sponsor, TradeMyHome.com, for their community commitment and for making this podcast possible. Until next time, remember to support local nonprofits.